Good morning, students. Today we're going to start with a new chapter, that is atomic structure and chemical bonding. I'm sure you studied in classes 6, 7, and 8 the structure of an atom, the three subatomic particles of an atom, and in class 8 you've also studied chemical bonding, that is only electrovalent bond and a covalent bond. Now today we are going to begin with this chapter. So let us start with an atom. An atom, how do I define it? Is the smallest particle of an element which can take part in a chemical reaction. It may or may not exist independently. You have already studied that a molecule is capable of independent existence, whereas an atom, it may or it may not exist independently. An atom is built up of three subatomic particles, namely protons, electrons, and neutrons. So what are the three subatomic particles present in an atom? They are protons, electrons, and neutrons. Now, let us take a look at the comparison between Dalton's atomic theory and modern atomic theory. You have already studied in the lower classes Dalton's postulates. Okay, so now I just want to compare it with the modern atomic theory. It's a contradiction. It's a contradiction between Dalton's atomic theory and the modern atomic theory. Now, what is it? The first one, atoms are indivisible particles, whereas the modern atomic theory says atoms are divisible into subatomic particles like protons, electrons, and neutrons. So they are not in agreement with each other. Number two, Dalton's atomic theory states that an atom it can neither be created nor destroyed. This is what Dalton had said. Now, the modern theory states that atoms can be created and destroyed by nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. So, here is the contrast. And the third one is atoms of the same element are alike in all respects and differ from atoms of other elements. Now look at what the modern theory states. Atoms of the same element may not be alike in all respects, as seen in the case of isotopes. So you might have heard of the term isotopes, okay? Like carbon isotopes are there, hydrogen isotopes are there, chlorine isotopes are there. So they are not the same. They do not, have the same properties like all the atoms of particular element. Now, we come across a very important term, that is nucleus. And you have already studied in the lower classes. It is Lord Rutherford who discovered the nucleus. So Lord Rutherford discovered the nucleus of the atom, which contain the protons and neutrons. And these protons and neutrons are collectively called nucleons because they reside in the nucleus. You know very well that protons are positively charged particles, whereas neutrons are neutral. They do not possess any charge. Now, the next important term that you come across is the orbits. What do you understand by the term orbits? The electrons revolve around the nucleus along imaginary paths known as shells or orbits. So, you have studied in the lower classes, there are fixed energy levels or shells. Okay, the nearest one to the uh, nucleus is called the K shell, then L, M, N, O, P. Okay, so the electrons revolve around the nucleus along these imaginary lines or paths known as shells or orbits. Now let us compare the characteristics of electrons, protons, and neutrons. These three are the subatomic particles present in an atom. First one is electron. The symbol is small e. Proton, the symbol is P. Neutron is small n. Now how it is represented symbolically? If it is an electron, E, it has a negligible mass, 0, minus 1. The charge is negative 1. Proton, 1, 1. That means it has a mass of 1 and charge of 1 positive. Neutron, 1, and here the subscript is 0, superscript is 1. So what does that mean? The mass is 1 but the charge is nil, 0. Now charge of an electron is taken as minus 1 or negative 1. We are not interested in this figure. Proton, it is plus 1 and neutron has no charge, so nil. Now, what is the mass of an electron? In the lower classes, you have learned that mass of an electron is negligible. That is 1 upon 1837, the mass of a hydrogen atom. In some books, you'll come across 1 upon 1840 of the mass of an hydrogen atom. Now, what are the properties of electron? They possess a unit negative charge and has negligible mass. Then comes proton. The mass is 1 AMU, meaning atomic mass unit. The property of a proton, they possess a unit positive charge and mass is nearly equal to that of hydrogen. Remember, electrons are present in the shells or the orbits, whereas protons are present where? It is present in the nucleus of an atom. Neutrons, they have no charge, nil. The mass is 1 atomic mass unit, and neutrons are electrically neutral particles. That means they do not have any charge, and mass is almost equal to that of a hydrogen atom. Now, neutrons, where are they found? They are located in the nucleus of an atom. So, protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus of an atom, whereas electrons are revolving in the shells or the orbits. With this, we come to the end of the lesson. Please revise the important terms that we have discussed so far. Now, we move on to the assignments. Assignment number 9. Revise the lesson and answer the questions given below. Question number 1. Name the subatomic particle whose charge is plus 1, whether it is let's say, a proton or an electron or a neutron. You're going to write A, B, and C. Question number 2. Define the terms an atom, nucleus, orbits. Question number 3. State the properties of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Please do write the answers neatly and correctly. Thank you.